What's up, everybody? It's Karl, aka Karl Drum Tech, and today let's talk about the worst types of section leaders. Cue the music. Alright, if you guys are finding me for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the red button down below that says subscribe. That way you will be notified anytime I put out a new video in regards to marching arts, marching bands, drum corps, indoor percussion, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single upload. Now also make sure that notification bell is ringing. That way for sure you will be notified anytime I put out a new video. So subscribe, make sure that notification bell is ringing, and let's get to the video. Okay, so this is the third video in a row about the worst types of whatever, right? So the worst types of drumline instructors, the worst types of private drum instructors. Now let's talk about the worst types of section leaders. And this is something where, like, I kind of, I had this experience firsthand because, I have students who come up to me and they say, okay, well, my section leader does this, and they're not very encouraging, they're not very positive, and they just kind of rag on me all the time, and it's like, there's nothing is ever good enough. Any progress they make is like swept under the rug because they're still not there quite yet, and it's just like on and on and on, just hammering down. And I, in some regards, like, I don't fault these individuals because, number one, they're young, right? Like, they don't know any better. Just like at one point I was that type of leader, I was that type of teacher, and I fall under that trap once in a while. Like, I was teaching today and I got kind of negative, and it just happens. Like, you get frustrated and maybe like you don't know how else to kind of like express yourself, and then at the same time, that's compounded by if you have a lack of educational knowledge, like you just don't know how to teach, you don't know how to motivate, you don't have that kind of experience, then it's really easy to default into just get negative, like, verbally abuse people, insult them, just kind of like, like this is never good enough, and then you're thinking like, they're gonna hopefully step up, right? And if they don't step up, you just get even more mad because they didn't step up when you told them to, right? So what I'm saying is, like, I definitely challenge these individuals. I definitely challenge you that if you are a section leader who is having trouble, thinking outside the box, like, try to think like, positive is the way to go. Like, try to think like, being encouraging, and anytime the person under you makes any kind of progress, make sure you acknowledge them, because that could motivate that individual to strive for more, to achieve even more, rather than like avoiding punishment, which is, in this case, can be verbal punishment. And this is something that can be very effective, but in the long run, I don't think it's necessarily the best way to go, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to break down a little video that's on my Facebook page, and I just want to kind of like highlight the effects of positive reinforcement, positive like encouragement, celebrating little wins no matter how small, and see the kind of effect that it has. So I'm going to show you that video right now, so check it out. Here we go. So I just kind of wanted to watch with you guys this video on my Facebook page. It has me teaching this individual named Danish how to play flam drag grid. And just for context, Danish is somebody who I met in 2016 when I went to Singapore, and I was in Singapore, and then Danish hits me up on Instagram DM and says, hey, I follow you on Instagram and I would love it if we could meet. I'm a local here in Singapore, so it would be great if we could do that. So I ended up meeting up with him. This is the first time we met in a mall called Ion Orchard in Singapore. And then we were just drumming, got the pad set up, and then we were drumming. And this is about, like how many years ago now, right? Like, 3 years ago. Just a really cool experience, like drumming with him, talking to him about, what's going on with the marching band scene, marching arts scene in Singapore. And he learned a lot from, a lot of the online marching arts influencers like Gridbook and stuff like that. And we were just drumming, so it was cool. But at the same time, I got an opportunity to kind of help him out and show him some stuff, including the flam drag grid. And I just kind of want to watch this video with you guys, especially if you haven't seen it. Just show the power of positive thinking, positive mindsets, positive encouragement, and just celebrating every win, no matter how small, and how powerful that could be as a learning tool in terms of just helping somebody get over the hump, or like, you know, be able to do something that they've never done before. Like when you feel good, you are determined to do more good. You are determined to have more success anytime you have a little success, right? You just want more and more and more and more. And, you know, I get it that there are other ways, right? There are negative reinforcements. There's negative ways of, like, you know, telling somebody, like, you suck, you suck, you suck over and over again. And maybe, like, they'll step up because they don't want to suck anymore. They don't want people saying that they suck. That's a powerful motivator as well. And I'm not knocking it per se, but at the same time, like, look at the power of positive encouragement, positive thinking, like, you know, being very celebratory anytime you have a win. So let's just get to this video and let's just watch it together right now. So this is cool. Just turn the camera on, and then we start playing. You started playing clan drags. So he obviously can do flan drags. Now it's like, okay, now let's accent the second partial. Now I'm telling him to do the third part. And then I think he didn't do the release, so I told him to do the release. Then what I normally teach is I go back to the second part rather than the beginning to connect the second and third part together. Or he accents the second partial and then accent the third partial. And just tell him to do it over and over again. Basic teacher trope or basic teacher strategies is just do it over and over again. Reps. Cool, so he struggled there, but then it's like, I'm telling him, like, yo, like, you're getting close, let's go. Yes, again. Yes, then he does it, and it's like, yes, like, hell yeah. Now he's pumped. Look at, he's very pumped. It's okay. Again, almost got it. I'm just like, it's all right, it's fine. Let's do it again. Okay. Cool. Now he's totally stuck. So take a little break, and then you just, you know, kind of review, go over things mentally, try it again. Boom. Then you celebrate. High five. He feels good. Now let's take it from the beginning, but let's mentally prepare. And kind of give him a feeling that he can do this. Boom. Then it's like, and I remember the feeling of that, like celebrating with him. He's happy, I'm happy, and it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? Now imagine, right? Imagine that Danish was a student in my drumline, or let's say I'm a section leader, Danish is in my drumline. And this is the other way we could go about it, right? The other way is, Danish, how come you can't play flam drag grid? Why do you, like, because you can't do flam drag grid, you suck. And every single time he tries, and every single time he fails, you just go, like, you didn't practice enough, or, you know, like, you should have had this by now, or we're all depending on you, and, you know, you're not being responsible, you're not thinking about the group, and blah, blah, blah. And you just hound him and hound him and hound him about that. Like, it's not, you're not going to get the same kind of feeling, right? Danish is not going to react the same way. He's not going to be happy. He's not going to be like, you know, yeah, pumped and stuff like that. He might get down, lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Maybe, right? And many people respond to this kind of negative reinforcement, where they say, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm going to prove it to you that I can do this, and I'm going to step it up. That, like, again, like I said, it can be a very powerful motivator, and I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. And the reason why I don't knock anybody for doing that is because I used to do the same thing. I used to do the exact same thing. And I think it's a very common technique for drum instructors and session leaders who simply don't know any better, who are not experienced enough, who don't have enough, a big enough scope of, you know, how to influence and motivate individuals in different ways. And sometimes, you know, the negative reinforcement, negative teaching is probably one of the easiest teaching techniques to learn, because it's easy, it's fast. You get fast results because, like I said, people feel down and they don't want to feel down, so they kind of fight against it, right? It's like it's like they don't, like, you punish them verbally, and to avoid punishment, they have to do a certain amount in order to not get punished, right? So it's a very effective motivator. Don't get me wrong. However, in my opinion, as you can just see from the video itself, like it's like so good all around to kind of celebrate every win, because you kind of get addicted to success. You get addicted to achieving, more and more and more. And then the student feels good, you feel good, the person under you, if you're a section leader, feels good, you feel good, and it's just like, can you imagine that, right? Like the mentality of like, like imagine when you were a kid and it's like, I'm sure you don't remember, but it's like every little thing that you learned that was new. Your parents, your family, they all celebrate. They're like, yay! Like, little Johnny, like, took his first poop today. Yay! Like, can you imagine if that was your life? If your life was, everything you did, it was celebrated. Every, every success, every little new thing you learned, every accomplishment you made, no matter how small, and no matter, and every single time you inch a little bit closer towards your goal, it's celebrated. It's like, yay, like, you can do it, let's go. And can you imagine the power of that? Can you imagine how you would be, the type of person you'd be, the type of, successful individual you'd be if you were applauded in that way, if you are being encouraged in that way? Okay, so if you are a section leader, if you are a teacher, I challenge you, if your method right now is to just be negative and to tell people like, like you suck all the time, or, even if they, achieve a little bit and then you tell them like, basically it's either not good enough, or if they have, like, let's say the goal is to get to from A to Z, and they get A and B and C, maybe they even get to like G, and you're like, well, you're not to Z yet, so you suck. Like, can you imagine the mindset of somebody who hears that versus, dude, yo, G, you're almost there, let's go, right? And it's like, imagine the power of that. So I encourage you to think of things, to see things in that way, to put yourself in the shoes of the person who you're in charge of, whether it's a student or a member in the line where you're the section leader. Put yourself in their shoes. How would they feel if you told them you suck? How would they feel if you told them, yo, you're getting closer, like you can do this, let's go? And then put yourself in their shoes and try to see what will work. Again, like I said, like, negativity can work as well, but try to think. I challenge you to think of things in a different way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I'm just gonna leave you with a little story. And this story, names have been changed to protect the innocent. But I was teaching drumline, and we had a student. His name is Greg. Okay. Now Greg, when I first met him, it didn't seem like he was gonna cut it at all. He wasn't very talented, and at the same time, he was just very dry, just not very emotional. Just like he gives like one-word responses, that kind of person. Okay. And there was another individual where, like, I basically, who was a lot more talented, like a much more upbeat personality per se, and I definitely wanted that person over Greg. Okay, so and they were kind of like competing for the same spot on bass drum line, and I definitely wanted the other guy, right? So I said, hey, let's do like a little tryout, and let's see who's best, and that will determine who the bass drummer is. Okay, and unfortunately, the other person said, you know what, Greg is a good friend of mine, I don't want to put him in that position, so I'm just gonna quit. So, okay, great. We got stuck with Greg. Okay, so, but here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about Greg, okay? So, yeah, he was dry. Yeah, it didn't seem like he was into it. Yeah, he's never gonna try very hard. Yeah, drumline is never gonna be his priority. Yeah, drumline isn't like he's not gonna eat, sleep, and breathe it, okay? He's not gonna, but he's gonna be at every practice. He's going to learn his music. He's going to try his best. Maybe not always his best, but he's going to do just enough. Okay, and maybe a couple years later, he was like, and he played in all 4 years in drumline. This is somebody you could count on to be a part of the drumline every single year. Okay, so you didn't worry about that hole, right, that he would leave. He was there for 4 years. He ended up being one of the most solid bass drummers we've ever had. Just a guy who does his job, doesn't say much, just comes in, goes to work, and then leaves. And then how valuable is that versus like some other people who maybe, like, for example, who might be more talented, but they cause so many problems. Like maybe they show up late or just have a bad attitude or whatever, right? I'd rather have Greg. Okay, so moral of the story is that sometimes you're gonna have people in your line who aren't really that into drumline, but they like it, right? They like it enough to be there. And it's nice to be able to say, hey, everybody in the drumline is into it, everybody lives, breathes, and eats it, and everybody's going hard 110%, and then the one person is just not quite there, they're just not very into it. You have to be resourceful enough to figure out how to motivate these individuals, okay? What you can get, like how to get the most out of them, even if they're like not that caliber, even if they're not that type of person who's gonna like give it their 100% all the time, they can still be an asset. They can still be valuable to you. Does that make sense, right? So I challenge you as a leader, if you wanna grow as a leader, find ways to get the most out of these individuals. Like if you can't get rid of them, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but at the same time, like, you know, if you push the right buttons and motivate them the right way, they can be an asset to you. So don't just think like, okay, well, this person is hopeless. Okay, don't think like that. Okay, think like, what can I do to motivate this person to get the most out of them, to get their very best, so that they can be an asset to this drumline. Does that make sense? So take it from me, take it from the story of Greg, okay? Like I said, he's one of the most solid players ever. You know, like I said, drumline is never gonna be his #1 love or thing. He's never gonna like march drum corps or be like you know, like practicing every single day like everybody else. But he's gonna be solid. He's gonna do his job. He's not gonna say much. He's not gonna cause any drama. He's just gonna do his thing. All right. So take it from me. Take it from Greg. Okay. So cool, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Hopefully you guys got something out of that little breakdown I did with Danish. So yeah, I challenge all of you. If you're a leader of some kind, okay, don't just fall back into the negative, you know, reinforcement, negative teaching, just getting mad at people, verbally abusing them, and then hopefully they'll avoid getting punishment by doing the right thing. Try to think positive. Try to think like, you know, what can you do to motivate them in that way, especially if you've never done it before. Like, I challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone and see if that helps, to see if that works, okay? And I don't profess to know everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, give it a shot, try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I don't know, I guess go back to doing the negative thing. I don't know, right? But you know, try it out. I think it can really help you, okay? Just especially in the long run too, when you get out there in the real world, in the business world, it's gonna help you out tremendously. I promise you, okay? Cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you did, do me a huge favor, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe after I told you to subscribe. And if you feel like this video could help somebody else out, maybe a section leader, maybe somebody who is down on themselves, hopefully you know, be like Greg, right? Like if this person is not really that into drumline, not really like, you know, like has no intentions of marking drum corps or anything like that, doesn't care about practicing every single day, has other things going on, show them this video, okay? Like, it's okay, all right? But do enough to do your job, all right? And be responsible enough for that, and then I promise you everything's gonna work out. Okay, so cool. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And what you guys should totally do next is watch more of my videos by clicking over here and then subscribing over here. Peace out. Catch you guys on the next video.